Hey everyone, it's Mr. Vargas here, looking to help out my Math 8 students, both 8A and 8B. Today's assignment for homework was 1.2, powers and exponents, found on page 19 all. I'm going to work through a few examples from your homework set, and hopefully you guys remember your notes and you're using them to help you out on this homework assignment in addition to this video. Let's go ahead and start out with number 1. Alright, for this problem we are asked to write the expression using exponents, and if you remember from class, this right here, this is expanded form, right? Expanded. And we want to make it compact. Compact using exponents. So another way to write that is just going to be -5, and you count how many times you're multiplying that. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to raise that -5 to the 4th power. So your answer would be -5 to the 4th power. Moving right along for number 2, we've got 3 times 3 times 5 times q times q times q. Okay, so if we were to write this expanded form into compact form with exponents, we've got 3 squared times, we've only got 1 5 here, 1 5, so that would just be 5 to the 1st power. And then we also have 3 q's, or q 3 times, so that would be q times q times q, which would make q cubed, or q to the 3rd power. And there you go. If you wanted to make this even simpler, you could multiply this part out. 3 squared would be 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 45, and then you would just attach q cubed to the back of that. That says 45 times q cubed. Alright, moving right along, let's go ahead and look at number 5. We did something similar to this in class, but I just want to try it again. So we've got 1/3 raised to the 4th power, and all that means is we're going to have 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3. We can multiply that out. Fix that 3. We can multiply that out. When we multiply fractions, we go straight across the top and straight across the bottom. So 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 will get you 1, and 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 gets you 81. So that is your final answer, 1 to the 81 over 81. Okay, let's look at a word problem, and then we will move on to an evaluating each expression, or evaluating the expressions. Number 8. It says Interstate 70 stretches almost 2 to the 3rd times 5 squared times 11 miles across the United States. Let me make that a little better, times 11. About how many miles is Interstate 70? Well, this is the important information, and all we have to do is expand this out. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5 times 11. And we can break that multiplication up. 2 times 2 times 2 is going to make 8. 5 times 5 makes 25. And we can bring that 11 on down, times 11. You can use a calculator, or you can try to do this on your own off to the side. 8 times 25, well, I know 8 quarters makes $2, so that would be 200. And 200 times 11 would be, well, I know that I can just multiply 11 times 2, which would get me 22. and then I can attach my zeros on back, 1 0, 2 zeros. So that 0 would go here and here, those 2 zeros. So that is about 2,200 miles based on the word problem. 2,200 miles. Okay, let's check out number 9. All right, for number 9, we have to evaluate an expression where g to the 5th is subtracted by h to the 3rd when g equals 2 and h equals 7. So the way that Mr. Morrow explained this in class is we want to set up parentheses wherever we see variables. So here I'm going to set up parentheses for my g, and I can keep that 5 up there, minus, then I can set up parentheses for h, and I can keep that 3 to the power of 3 up there. Okay, now we substitute in. G is 2, so I can put 2 here. And h is 7, so I can put 7 right there. All right, now this one, you might need to use a calculator to figure this out. But 2 to the 5th power is just the same as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 minus 7 times 7 times 7. Whoops. Whoa. Let's make that black. Okay. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 over on the left side. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Whew. That is going to be 4 times 4 times 2, which eventually gets us 16 times 2. And 16 times 2, we know that is the same thing as just writing 32. So this would be 32 minus, all right, and 7 times 7 is 49. And then 49 times 7, you could use your calculator for that one. That would get me 243. All right, go ahead and do that subtraction. 32 minus 243, you are going to get a negative number. And you should get negative 211 when you go ahead and work that out, either on paper or in your calculator. All right, and that should be enough for today. Good luck on the rest of the assignment, and see you tomorrow with any questions that you'll have. Have a nice night.